Am I the bad guy for telling my parents the truth about my stepsister's fiancé since they now won't pay for her wedding? I, 28 female, have a stepsister, Jen, 29 female. Our parents got together when we were teenagers, and Jen and I never clicked. I have nothing against her, we just aren't close. From the ages of 22 to 26, I worked at my stepdad's company. And Jen worked there too, and still does. While working there, I became friendly with a colleague, Pete. Everyone in the office would joke about Pete having a crush on me, but I never saw him like that, and he never said anything, so I didn't pay much attention to the possibility. However, when I started dating my now husband, things got a bit awkward with Pete. When I quit my job, and Pete and I didn't really stay in contact, but we followed each other on social media. It was a few months later that I saw on Pete's social media that he had started seeing Jen. Pete and Jen got engaged last year, and since, my stepdad agreed to pay for the wedding. A few weeks ago, an old colleague got married, so me, Jen, Pete, and my parents were all at the wedding. Pete was a little overly friendly at the reception, which I put down to alcohol. Later in the evening though, I was outside getting some air, and Pete came out and basically propositioned me. I made it clear I was extremely uncomfortable and went back inside. The next day, I called Jen and told her everything. She accused me of trying to ruin her relationship, and said that I shouldn't make the whole situation worse by telling her dad, since I'd already done enough to sabotage her relationships. I agreed, because I didn't feel I had any right to continue being a spanner in the works. A week ago, I was Skyping my parents and they were talking about Jen's wedding. They were talking about Pete, and my face must have changed because they immediately asked if something was wrong. I insisted it was nothing, but it turned out they'd seen Pete follow me out at the wedding and had their own theories about what he'd done to upset me. All of which were worse than what actually happened. After 20 minutes of them thinking the worst, I told them the truth. I begged them not to do anything about it, since Jen and Pete worked it out. But my stepdad was livid. He called Jen, and they had a huge fight. And he refused to pay for the wedding, or even attend. Jen has been calling and texting me, and posting on social media about what a horrible person I am for ruining her wedding. And I've had messages from her friends telling me how awful it was for me to tell our parents, after she asked me not to, and saying how I've basically ruined Pete's career, etc. I've tried explaining that, letting them continue assuming, would have led to worse consequences, but apparently, I should have just been able to hide the whole thing somehow. My friends say I did nothing wrong, but my stepdad is now not speaking to Jen, and her whole wedding has been cancelled because of me. So, I do feel guilty. Am I the bad guy? And now for the top comments. You did nothing wrong. The person who they should be angry with is the man who propositioned his fiance's stepsister, who was decent enough to correct the perception. He had done worse. Not the bad guy. You didn't do anything wrong. Pete ruined the wedding. If anything, Jen should be grateful that you told her the truth from jump. Her being mad at you, instead of Pete, is ridiculous. Plus, you didn't tell your parents anything. They put 2 and 2 together, and had their suspicions. Don't feel guilty the wedding was cancelled because Pete is a creep, who Jen and her friends refused to hold accountable. Not the bad guy. You've done nothing wrong. It's not even remotely okay for Pete to think that's acceptable behavior, and he'll likely do it again. I'm sorry your sister is taking Pete's side, and blaming you. Hopefully she's just in shock and isn't thinking clearly, though her blasting you is extremely immature and hurtful. I wouldn't trust either of them again. Very glad your parents have your back. I had a similar situation with a friend. Her boyfriend aggressively came on to me in a forceful and creepy way. After multiple attempts to tell him to piss off, I told her, but I was blamed because he denied anything. I was blasted and publicly blamed. Recently saw that they are married, and have heard rumors that he's still actively creeping on other women. Some people are okay with living in denial. Not the bad guy. Pete damaged the relationship. Pete ruined his career. Pete ruined the wedding. Pete is a massive creep. Block him on everything. Your parents already figured out that Pete was not a good guy because they came up with their own theory. You answered their question truthfully. And now for the next story. Am I the bad guy for refusing to uninvite my parents and brother from my wedding after they told my fiancé she was a controlling witch? My 27 male fiancé Lily, 25 female, and I have been together for 3 years and are currently planning our wedding. Lily grew up fantasizing about her future wedding, so naturally she's very excited for it. However, there are a few concerns I have with her attitude about the wedding. She's become so obsessed with the planning that she gets visibly annoyed whenever I give my input on anything. It makes me really upset because this is my wedding too, and I want to help plan as well. Not only that, but she refuses to acknowledge the choices I do make. I have no idea why, but Lily seems to absolutely despise my brother. When I asked her why, she said he was just really annoying. She absolutely freaked when I told her he was a groomsman. She told me I had to make him a normal guest because she would be uncomfortable with him there. She said I had to choose another person to take his place, because she deserves to be happy on her wedding day as well. This resulted in a huge fight between us. And I ended up venting to my parents about my frustrations, because Lily won't listen to me about them. Yesterday me and Lily went to dinner with them, and the topic of the wedding came up. Well, to make a long story short, they all ended up yelling at each other over everything that's happened. And my mom ended up calling Lily a controlling witch. Now Lily is demanding I uninvite my parents as well. But I don't want to. Now Lily's mad at me, my parents are telling me to reconsider the relationship, and my brother thinks Lily's lost her marbles. Am I the bad guy for not wanting to uninvite my parents or brother? Edit, hey everybody, I've been thinking over the things you've said for the past few hours. And I've come to realize this situation isn't just some drama between my fiancé and family. I'm going to talk to Lily about postponing the wedding, and if she freaks out again, I might consider canceling it altogether. This isn't the person I fell in love with 3 years ago, and I realize that now. Thank you all so much for confirming my concerns about this. And now for the top comments. Not the bad guy. You need to uninvite Lily. Best comment. Yeah, your family is right. She's controlling. Not the bad guy. Wowza. You are not the bad guy for not disinviting your parents, but you need to put the brakes on this wedding. Something is seriously wrong here. Your bride-to-be sounds out of control on this, and there is no way she should have forced you to change who was standing up for you. And this is your day too. A couple of huge red flags here. 1. She sounds really focused on this dream day, regardless of what you want. Is that how she will be in the actual marriage? Be prepared to be miserable. And 2. No matter how much she plans and controls all of you to her perfect vision, something will not go perfectly that day. They never do. I'm afraid she is going to flip out and ruin her own perfect day. It will be a miserable day for everyone, unless you stop this nonsense. Not the bad guy. But please, do not marry this woman. She just wants a wedding, not a marriage. Hey OP. Read slowly through your post, and see all the red flags you have missed. Do you want to be isolated from your family, and in a relationship where she will attempt to control every aspect of your life? Because that is where you're headed. I don't know if there are reasons for Lily to feel that way, however, based on your post, not the bad guy. Instead of uninviting your parents, uninvite Lily. That's your best option. Thank you for visiting my channel. It's going through a few growing pains now, but I hope to see you back soon. Don't forget, before you leave, please like, subscribe and leave a comment below. See you soon.